This first sheet, I want you to find the kangaroo in the set of sheets that you have, and we're going to look at the kangaroo on the left, and we're going to reproduce that on the right in the grid. Now I've put some numbers up here because that might help you. So if we look here, we can count across the top 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces and a little bit down, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces and a little bit down. We can put a cross there, okay, and then at the 3 mark it goes through about there. It goes through the 2, 1 just a bit above, then it goes through here. So if you work through like that first and put some little dots in, then you can come back, and I'm holding my hand so that it turns this way, okay, so you can use your hand, the natural arc of your hand. Sketch that in, feather that in gently first, like this, until you're happy with it. You can rub it out then easily because it's very light, and then you can come back and you can draw it in with a nice dark line like this, okay? So that was the type of line that we want to be there in the end. You can do the same thing for the head of the kangaroo. You can count in and you can keep working on that, and away you can go to do that sheet. Good. The second one I'd like you to do is to find this sheet. We're going to do some pictorial drawing, and in this case we're going to do an oblique view. Okay, so an oblique view is one type of pictorial drawing. You've got a start corner down here, and that start corner, let's call that corner A. That's also corner A up here. Okay, so the idea here is that we're going to reproduce this drawing down here. So to start with, we're going to draw a line across here, and you can sketch this just freehand. Just try to draw a line as straight as you can. You can use a ruler if you like. I'd like you to use a ruler, and just draw light lines. Then we're going to draw a vertical line up here, just lightly, and then we're going to draw a line up here. Now this angle is approximately 45 degrees. Okay, so you can see I've got a start point now that's similar to my start point here. So then I look here and I go 10 and 30 and 40. So that means in millimeters, so there's about 10 millimeters, then there's about 30, and I'm happy for you to guess these, and then about 40 there, which is a little bit bigger. Okay, so if you put those dots, they're very big there. I've made them big so that you can see them on the visualizer, but you need to probably do them a little bit lighter than this. We can rub them out. We want to draw a line up there, a line up here, and a line up here. And then those vertical lines go up certain distances. So these are called dimensions, and we read the dimensions now. So the very end one, we want it to go up 30. So about the same as that. So we put that one there. And then it's going to go across this way, but we don't know yet how far it goes across, so we'll just leave that there like that. The inside one here, it goes up 30 plus 20, so that's 50. So that's going to come up to about here, so we're going to put a horizontal line across about there. Then we've got to decide what this gap is here. Okay, so it's 50 here and 30, so the overall is 80. It comes back 30. This was 40, remember? So now we come back 30, so it leaves the gap at about 10. So then we'll put a line up here, just lightly up there like that. And then the overall height we can see over here is 70. So we'll come up the front one here, and come back into view here. We'll come up there about 70. And then we'll put a line across there. Now I'm going to go ahead now and line some of this in, because you need to now minimize our confusion. So see how I was working lightly, and now I'm going to work a little bit more with a dark pencil. Okay, now some of these lines aren't straight, that's okay, this is freehand drawing. Okay, so then you've got that front surface, which is the same as this front surface up here. Okay, you can see it there, and then all the lines here are going to go off parallel to that one. Okay, so you want to try and make them parallel if you can, and you might want to turn your drawing around so that you get your free flowing pencil line with it. Now I know here that it goes back 35 millimeters. So I'm going to come back here. Now, we're not going to talk yet about cutting this in half, which is a technique, but we'll just put 35 up there, just guess that, and then another vertical line. And then from the top of that one, we're going to come across parallel here, horizontal. Then we finish that part. Now the 35 here needs to also go up there 35. So I'm just going to measure that. Oh, it's right about there. Let's just say on this drawing here, look, it stops earlier. Okay, so we better stop that a bit earlier here, like this, and then we'll put a line there, and then we'll line in these ones. Vertical line down there, horizontal line across there. Now there's one thing missing. I need to draw a line in here, okay, because I can see inside, and if I measure that and put it there, it's going to stop about there. See inside here, you can see it. So I need a vertical line down there, parallel, so I'll draw that in nice and dark, draw that one in there. Then I can come back here and I can rub out a bit of my construction to make it look neat. I can rub out that, and then I can put in here two light lines about 3 millimeters apart, and then in there I'll just write oblique view in capitals, please. Now oblique is a type of pictorial drawing, and we'll teach you now how to draw isometric. Now we're going to learn how to draw some isometric. We've got an isometric view here. You can see it's slightly different to an oblique view. It's called an isometric view. The front corner here will corner A again, and we'll come down here on the sheet we have a corner A as well. Now this time, instead of going straight in 45, we're going to go at 30 degrees out that way, and we're going to come at 30 degrees out this way. Now the little corners that I put there for you to start are like an indication of the angle. Now you can see my line here. It's not great, but it's good enough. So out to right hand side we want to go 50 millimeters, because the right hand side of A, and on the left hand side of A we want to go 60 millimeters. But we also want here to go 20, 20, 20, because we know this thing's going to be having all these 20. So I'm going to divide this 60 line up like that, okay? And then I'm going to draw vertical lines up from each one of those just nicely. It'd be a nice idea to use a ruler here, and you've just got to try to be careful and be as straight as you can. Now, a little bit confusing at this point, but let's measure up here now, 30 millimeters. So the height of all of this front is 30. So if we come up here 30, we can then go to the right and to the left. And I'm going to go all the way along there because, and that line doesn't quite look parallel, it should look parallel. And then the overall height is 40. So I need to come up another 40, a bit more, and then I go along there parallel as well. Okay, so now I can line in some things here, like this. You see how I've got dark lines over the top of light lines. So there's my front. Here's my side, going back here. And then I need to stop because I've drawn all I can. Now I need to go 30 degrees to the right there, and there, and there, and there. And then I need to go 30 degrees parallel back this way till it hits. Then I can go vertical. Then I can go back this way. And so now I've got my shape. So I can line in these lines with the dark lines once again. This one's not quite vertical. I'll try and fix that a bit. There you go, and I can line in that one. So now we've got our isometric drawing, and we should tidy that up a little bit, and you can do some colouring in or some rendering on that one. Would make it look a little bit better too. Let's rub out inside there so that it looks like it's a little bit finished. Okay, so work nice and neatly and you'll get a nice isometric drawing. Now there's another sheet here that's almost exactly the same. This time you've got an oblique view and the start point here. So we're going to go off to the right at 30 degrees. We're going to go off to the left at 30 degrees. On the left we're going to measure 40. On the right we're going to measure 80 millimeters. and we're going to draw vertical lines, the same as the last one, and I'm not going to tell you how to do this one because you can do it. Now the next type of drawing I'd like you to do is to find this sheet, and there's going to be a few like this, so take your time about this. We've got an isometric view here. It's got some dimensions on it, the numbers, so it goes 30 to the left and 50 to the right, and it's 50 high. And then over here I've drawn for you already a front view, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look at drawing the right side view, the left side view, and the top view up here. So let's just draw the left side view to start with. And in order to draw the left side view, what we need to do is we just need to project across here with 3 parallel lines. Okay, just try to be as neat and as light as you can. And then I've also put for you here a start line. So this will be the line, we'll put a vertical line close to through this one. I've missed it there a bit. Now, the front view comes from here. It's the view when you're standing here looking. Okay, so imagine that you're looking there and you see this L shape. There is the L shape. Okay, now if you move yourself around and you now look at the left side, you move to the left and you look, you see 2 rectangles. Okay, you see that surface and you see that surface. You do not see this surface in the middle. Okay, you only see these 2 surfaces that I've just shaded in. And we know that that's 30, so we're going to come across here 30 and we're going to put another line down, and that now is our end view completed. We now line it in, and this is going to be a little bit tricky for some of you, and then this line here, I can see that edge, there it is. Okay, so that now will become the end view, the left end view, and that's the front view. Over here we'll show the right side view, and up top here we'll draw the top view. So to get the top view, we would project up once again with some light lines all the way through like this. Then I've given you a start point, so we go across like that, and then once again, if the end view is 30 millimeters, the view from here, okay, if the view from here shows us that that's 30 millimeters, then when we look down from on top, when we're up in the aeroplane, up in the helicopter looking down from on top, we see these 2 surfaces, but they cannot be longer than 30 because that's the top, that's the width of this object. So I go back here the same as here, I go back up there, and I'll put a line across there. So now I have my top view, and I can line that in. There is my top view. Okay, so this is an orthographic drawing. So now we have a top view, we have a front view, and we have a left side view. Let's see if we can do the end view. And the end view, there's a trick in it. There's going to be a hidden detail line. So let's see if you can figure out what type of hidden detail line is, or you can ask me next lesson and I'll help you with that.